What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about problem four. This one that gave you guys fits. So this question's asking you to do two things. One, can you pick out the pieces? Uh, can you pick out the pieces of the construction and put them into steps? In other words, can if I was sitting next to you, and I'm like, hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you lean over to me and say, hey, this is exactly what you do? And that's what's actually being recorded in this part of the table. Look how nicely I highlighted that. I'm a pro highlighter. Look at that. Okay. And then the second part, which is much tougher, is trying to figure out a reason why you're doing it. And this is going to become a common theme all year. Like, I know we're still kind of beginning geometry. We've only had about 12 classes or so. But knowing or making sure that you have a very set reason why you are doing something is absolutely the key to doing well in geometry. Like, you're just not doing something for something's sake. You have a purpose. So that's the thing we're going to focus on as well. So I'm going to kind of take you through my level of reasoning on this. And I encourage you to be independent in your thinking and make sure you're just not, following me. But you should always have a reason why you're doing things. And those reasons, in this case, usually revolve around needing some points or needing some distances to find points. So I'm kind of giving you an example on how to start the level of thinking I've demanded. So I'm setting a compass distance from B to A because I want to conduct it perpendicular to a segment, and I gave that point A. So the reason I'm saying that point is because I know to construct a perpendicular, and where I am, if you were wondering where I'm reading this, I'm right here. So to construct a perpendicular, I need to find a point directly under A, which makes sense because if A is there, if it's directly under A, then that's got to be perpendicular. I need to map A and the distance is 2A to the end from the endpoints to this new point in the segment below. In other words, I just need to flip over this point. So what I'm really saying is that I know A has got to be like here. Whoa, it's a Collins. It's ludicrously too large. Okay, so I know A has got to be like some point like right there. And what that really means, I need to find this distance and transfer it. And then I need to find this distance. I need to transfer it, which is what I mean by flip. So this is kind of like the overview. This is what I'm going to try to accomplish in this problem. And this is really that first step in accomplishing this flipping of points. So in the second step, I've now cut arcs, okay? So if I was going to give myself a direction here, the actual thing I do with my compass, okay, so the thing I actually do with my compass is mark an arc, uh, below BC with the distance BA. In other words, I found this distance, and now I know that the point I'm looking for is somewhere along that arc. Um, so if you wonder, now let's kind of think about why I'm doing that. The reason I'm doing that is because I know womp, to find a point. Oh man, to find a point, you have to use two distances. In this case, from either endpoint. The arc, the one I cut, represents possible locations for the point I need. Okay, in other words, I know that this point I'm looking for is somewhere along this arc. I don't know where it is because it's only one distance, but that's why I need to find the second distance. In fact, hey, look, I'm finding a second distance right now. So it looks like what I'm actually doing here is marking the distance from C to A. I mean, if you look, that's what my compass is actually doing. I'm pinning my compass at C, stretching it out to A. A compass measures distance, therefore I'm measuring distance. Um, so why I'm doing that, uh, is kind of what I stated in the previous one. This is the second distance needed to locate. Wow, that's a 2. Locate the point I'm trying to map. No, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Baseball. Okay, what's happening this step? Okay, so now I'm actually marking the arc. So now I'm marking an arc below BC with that distance I just found, which is AC. And again, that's distance because I don't have to say the little segment symbol above it, right? So why I'm doing this is actually kind of the same reasoning I had right here. To find a point needs 2 points. To map a point, I need 2 distances. This is the locations of the second distance. Okay, so in other words, the red arc is now represents the second distance I need, and of course, the point where they intersect is the point I'm looking for because that's the only one that shares both distances. That other than A, this guy right here is the only point that has a quality of having the right distance from B and the right distance from C, which means in this step, I'm actually now connecting my points. So connect points with straight edge. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing that is you need 2 points to form a line. And those 2 points I just found. Now, if you look at this one, this is nothing more than marking the diagram. And the purpose of that is to let your reader know your intent. Okay, so that's not too scary. That's not too bad at all, guys. Like, so again, this is what you're doing and then why you're doing it. Now, the why you're doing it sometimes become repetitive in the end. Like you really establish right at the bat why you're trying to do this because you need 2 points to make a line. But the point being, like, it's nice to have that thinking out. So this type of question is definitely one that you're gonna have to kind of encounter on the test. So I'm not gonna. Ooh, hello, womp. Okay, so I'm not gonna bother to go through the second one, but that's certainly one that you can take using the kind of the model I just showed you and answering yourself. So with that being said, that's where I'm going to stop this here video. And again, hopefully there's some resources that have been posted as well. So you guys have a good night. I just want to finish my